Welcome to the Louder Tales podcast. We hope you enjoy today's show, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Here's your hosts, Rainbow and Tim.
All right. Well, it looks like we're up and running.
Yes, we are.
All right, everybody. This is video now, so you can see us. Hello, I'm Tim.
Hello, I'm Rainbow.
So,
and we're the faces behind the voices.
Yes, pay no attention to the man behind the red curtain.
With the deep voice.
Maybe I should get behind this blue one. This blue curtain.
One of the cats might be there.
Oh. Yeah.
They might get angry not wanting to share their space.
That could be, yeah. Well, we got a handful of things to talk about. We were talking about something last week. We didn't end up airing that. I'm sorry. We ended up having some technical difficulties.
One of them was she's 9, but she was 8 last week. You could hear her in the background on her VR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about some stuff, but since we didn't post that one, we're going to talk about the same, well, not the same stuff, but we'll talk a little bit. You were reading in the news. Tell us what you were reading.
So, which time?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So last week we touched on, I was reading that they might have found Amelia Earhart's plane.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually have that pulled up, the article.
There's even some new ones where they're talking about using different radar and stuff.
Yeah. So the gentleman that originally thinks he spotted it, he's actually retired military, I believe. And it looks like they're actually going to do a couple of things to find it. But it says here, new clues have emerged in what is one of the greatest mysteries of all time, the disappearance of legendary American aviator Amelia Earhart. So that's going to be interesting.
You know, a lot of planes have gone missing over the years. I mean, we've only been flying for 124 years.
Yeah.
Right? As 1901, I think, was the first one in Kitty Hawk.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of planes go down where they were in the ocean. The Bermuda Triangle is a big, everybody's like, oh, yeah, everything happens there. I guess it's not more common there than it is anywhere else. It's just happens to be a big area, and people like to fixate on that.
I think it's a crossover for a lot of planes. And logistically, to me, that makes sense, is they probably run out of gas there.
Yeah. I don't think that's the case, but
I don't know, it sounds good in my mind.
Well, they talked about, I remember one time they were talking about the gases from underneath causing ships to sink. And I was just like, what? It didn't make sense to me. But there's been a whole bunch of theories on why ships or planes or whatever have disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle. I don't think that
it's
any of them.
some gravitational thing with the Earth.
It's not aliens. It's not monsters, sea monsters, aliens. Big giant whales. I don't know. Who knows?
Could be big
anything.
Whales that are really hungry. It could be the prehistoric whales or sharks that are still.
Yeah, megalodon. Oh,
yeah.
That'd be scary. I don't think I'd want to run into that. Well, they were talking about the flight data recorder, which is known as the black box. And for folks that don't understand what a black box is, 1, it's not black. And 2, I don't even think it's a box. I think it's like a cylindrical tube that has all the computer information in it.
I don't know.
Well, there's some pictures of it online. If you want to just search it up, that's fine. They started becoming, what was it? In contrast to the name, black boxes are not box-shaped or black and are painted bright orange to increase visibility. The devices are between $10,000 and $15,000 and roughly weigh 10 pounds. And it allows investigators to understand the final events preceding an accident. So, yeah, they've been around. They were not around for Amelia Earhart, so they're not going to find one for her. They're just going to have to piece together. They're probably, the best bet they're going to do is they're going to have to figure out, okay, was this airplane underwater for this many, what if it crashed or landed? Who knows? Maybe it landed on like a little island that isn't there anymore. Because I guess that's happened where islands aren't islands anymore or new islands form. And it could be one of those super, like, barely above sea level, and when you're out in the middle of the nothing, and you see a tiny bit of land and this is it, you got to land, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. So I'm reading here. It actually says the team spotted the plane-shaped object between Australia and Hawaii, about 100 miles off Howland Island, which is where Earhart and her navigator, Fred Noonan, were supposed to refuel, but never arrived. So it sounds like they probably did run out of gas.
Yeah, they probably did. Hopefully they ran out. I mean, it would suck to run out and then you're in the middle of nothing. I mean, you are in the middle of nothing, but at least if they got towards some sort of land, you know.
I don't want to sound like the bum of the family, but their plane probably went down. And we touched on it last week that they probably didn't have any parachutes and probably couldn't eject.
Yeah, I don't think that was a ejectable type plane. Those are usually like fighter jets, and that's pretty much it. I don't think they're going to... Well, they might carry a parachute. I mean,
I don't know what good it's going to do if you're... Come on down.
Prolongs death.
I don't know if I want to prolong it. I think I just get it over with.
Yeah.
Don't make me wonder.
Yeah. Well,
just
I think...
do it.
You know what? I was just thinking about this earlier today when I was driving around delivering packages. Birds are basically... I don't think birds are afraid of heights. Do you?
No, but
Wouldn't
if
that be
there
weird?
is one, penguins probably are.
Yeah, because they don't fly. They don't fly. Chickens fly for 30 feet. I've seen a chicken fly.
Not up, though. They just fly over or forward, don't they?
In Hawaii, I saw one. It was just...
up?
I mean, it went up off the ground and went somewhere. Yeah, I think it went over...
It just went forward.
Well, it went over a fence post.
Was that next door to the house where Jake
Yeah.
got one of the chicks?
Yeah. That's where I saw it.
This was our very nonviolent, didn't bark, didn't growl, wouldn't even chase a ball.
Yeah. No, I got him to chase it
a
once.
Chicken. Oh, yeah,
once.
He did with the puppy.
I got it on video.
But he did chase a chicken, and obviously he won that race.
Yeah, he wanted some chicken dinner. Winner.
Yeah, he was a winner.
He won. Yep. Well, I don't think they're going to find much information. I mean, like you said, if they're underwater for a certain amount of time, they can say, oh, well, this much rust occurred, or whatever. But if the plane was on some sort of land structure or above water, it would have considerable different rusting, I would think. I would think that's the only thing that they're going to be able to... I don't know. I'm not a recovery
They can probably
person.
tell by the sea life that's living on it, around it, and
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, like the plankton things or barnacles. I think that's what they're called.
They should be able to tell by that. And if their bodies are in the plane, they might be able to tell by that as well.
Oh, yeah. That would actually give a good indication if they landed, so to speak, but crashed. Because if their bodies are still in there, they didn't just okay, this is it, I mean, especially if they're still strapped to the... Oh, wouldn't that be creepy?
Drowning is... I do not want to go that way. If you notice, that's water is... I'll go deep, but I'm claustrophobic, and I think drowning is probably one of those reasons why. I think it's a protective thing. I don't want to drown, and I don't want to burn.
I have never felt fear when I was in the ocean.
Oh, I know.
I went right up to the sharks.
I know. And the manta rays.
Yeah. I had a manta ray bump me in the head. That's an awesome video.
It's a beautiful...
We could probably show that.
I actually called the manta ray his spirit guide because that's not the only story that he's got with, a manta ray hanging out with him.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I was on the jet ski. Or
that one that was the
wave
size
runner.
of a king-size bed, at least.
That thing was huge.
It was like playing along with him when he was on the jet ski. He's got video of that as well.
I thought it was a shark. I was hoping for it to be a shark. I was like,
I know.
Ooh.
I'm glad it wasn't a shark.
I mean, if it's not all
I
bitey.
know. So obviously you don't understand that sharks, when they're hungry, they eat, and they eat humans if they're there.
Yeah.
There's lots of them who are missing, limbs and bites out of their bodies.
Oh, humans, not sharks.
Yeah.
I don't know any
humans.
sharks that are missing limbs.
No, humans.
All right.
The survivors of those, though, they're my heroes.
Yeah.
A lot of them get back in the water, too.
Yeah, I don't know if I could. I don't know. Maybe it's like the old fall off the horse, get back on it thing.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, there's got to be some people that are like that, and some people that are like, nope, I lived. That's it.
most people, they dive, they're just in the water all the time. It like calls them. So
Yeah.
those of them who
Scuba
have been
diving
attacked
it
by
was so relaxing for me. I got to see all kinds of fish and just
surfboarders. Yeah, that's what.
yeah. Oh yeah, surfboards. Yeah.
That word like totally escaped my brain. Imagine that, and I even have my ears covered, and it still went through.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd want to.
You wanted to play with the shark, obviously.
Well, I just wanted to see one.
I must say you wanted to play with it if you were hoping that manta ray was a shark.
If I was on the jet ski, yeah. I think I'd be all right. If it wasn't a super huge shark and it wasn't like aggressively attacking me, I'd be okay with looking at a shark
If
in
it
the
was
water.
chasing you on the jet ski, it probably wanted to eat you.
I want to see, I'm going to Google it. How fast?
And these are our arguments, people.
How fast can a shark swim? All right. It says, may pop in your mind, the average speed.
He thinks it's
Oh, they cruise about 5 miles an hour. That's not what I'm talking about. Okay. Short burst, 12 miles an hour. I got it. I can outrun a shark on a jet ski.
until you run out of gas.
You just want to cause something to happen. It's like, no. Okay, well, this one might get me. The fastest shark is the short fin mako, and that's 31 miles an hour.
Ooh.
So that's pretty close. I think I clocked my jet ski at 46, but that's got to be like glass.
Yeah, I was going to say that's if you're not hitting a wave and throwing yourself off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Both of us.
both of us.
That was interesting.
That was my first time experienced learning that you don't hit a wave sideways.
Yeah.
You either hit it straight on or you chase tail and you
Yeah.
go around the other way.
Yep. That landed us in the ER
Yep.
for 2 days, actually.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't. You
No,
were.
it was me.
It was just her.
Yeah, that was fun.
So, yeah, I don't think I would want to try and outmaneuver a shark. But it's possible that they go around 25. Some of them, great white shark can go up top to 35. So,
Yeah. That's the one you don't want to hang out with.
yeah, no.
I'm surprised you never went on the shark adventure thing. Where
See, now that's a different thing because you're like coaxing the sharks into going. You're going into their home, and you're
someone's
like, "Here's a
chunking
bunch
raw
of
meat."
food. Let's
Yeah.
get you with a bunch of food
If
and
you
make you
notice,
hungry."
they're the ones still on the boat while you're in
Yeah.
the cage while they're chunking.
Yeah,
out.
they're like, "I'm not going in that cage. No, this is the third cage we've replaced this month. No, I'm not.
It
I don't
probably
know if they
was.
go through them that often. That'd be terrible. That'd be funny though.
Oh, our sense of humor.
I'm telling you.
It's not for everybody.
No. So one of the other things we were talking about in Hawaii was, well, we'll talk about a couple of things. One of them was the groceries. Do you remember there was some of the times that we went into the commissary, the line was so long. It wrapped all the way around the building,
Yeah.
all the way.
Like all the way around.
So like impulse buys, which are like candy, junk,
Oh, they knew exactly where to put them.
The impulse buys were now bacon and milk and eggs in the far back of the store.
Yeah.
Because you were just sitting there. And I remember there was one time when you were like, hey, let's get a couple things. We got a couple things. And then we ended up going, you waited in line with like 4 or 5 things in the cart.
Yep.
And you just waited. And then you're like, okay, now go get broccoli. And then I'd go get broccoli.
Yeah.
And I'd come back and you're like, all right, we need bread. So go get bread. Okay, we need bagels. And it's like, I was just mission back and forth. And it was fine.
We had the boys do it too. That was like when we finally started letting them venture the grocery store.
Yeah. And that was okay.
Yeah.
We did all right. We managed to game the system a little bit.
Yeah. We weren't the only ones doing it though.
No.
Like everyone had to do it. When they walked in and saw that there was a line, they're like, "Oh, we got to get in line now."
I wonder if it's almost like everybody sees the line starting and then they cause the line to get bigger by freaking out thinking that it's going to be too long.
Well,
But
It was because it eventually ended wrapped around the store.
Yeah. I think the longest line was when Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Is a
That was so long.
Yeah.
And
But
then
now
that girl in the polka dotted skirt.
the
It
one
was
that tried to
brown
cut,
with pink polka.
tried to cut in front of you.
Oh, it wasn't us. There was, I think, 3 people in front of us. But she, she was a young girl, and she went and hi to this young guy and just like snuck in. That's when, you realized I was quiet. Did the sarcasm just like seep through? Yeah.
That was good though. And now we're not going to be. You were reading about AI and how it's changing the landscape of shopping. Why don't you tell us about that?
So, just from like news and my AI classes, I don't foresee a lot of grocery stores. Department stores might be really close behind, but I think we're going to be doing everything online. I don't think there's going to be a lot of in-store shopping here probably in the next 5 to 10 years. I think it's going to be all online.
You got to think that's going to cut down on theft.
Yeah.
What else would it cut down on? I mean, if you think
It's
about
probably
it.
going to cut down on cost.
Just
on
overall
the
cost.
facilities cost, yeah. So they think it's going to, but then you have to look. People are going to have to get the groceries.
Yeah.
They're going to have to bag the groceries. So some people won't lose their jobs, but they're going to have to look. They're going to have to bring in more people because more people are going to be buying online.
Yeah.
It's not really going to cut down on cost as far as employees because and then you have to have the people who drive them.
Yep.
Unless they do. So Kroger's actually has the little vans like Amazon.
Really?
Or the bigger trucks.
Okay.
And that's what they do. They'll put the big, they've delivered here.
I've seen a few food delivery places. One of them that I thought was kind of neat was one called Imperfect Foods. Have you ever heard of them?
That's a meal delivery, I believe.
I don't know if it's so much of a pre-prepped meal. I don't think it's that. I think they are more like, hey, you want a whole bunch of ugly looking tomatoes or carrots that are not perfectly straight?
Yeah, I've seen.
Like if you're just throwing carrots in a stew and you're just chopping
they
them
don't
up.
Need to be pretty.
What do you care what they look like? Yeah. Imperfect foods.
People seem to think that if they're not perfect, they're going to taste different.
But there is kind of a psychological thing, when you see food and you're like, oh, this is kind of green and fuzzy.
Well, duh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the worst food you've ever eaten that you were like, ugh? It was actually bad. Like it wasn't like you didn't like it.
Okay.
But like it was actually like
this
spoiled,
is actually
rotten,
a childhood memory.
Okay.
My stepdad.
Yeah.
We lived out in the country, and he came in, and I can't remember if he made the chicken or my mom made the chicken, but I remember the smell while it was cooking.
Oh, I think you told me this.
And it didn't smell right.
Yeah.
Like I remember my brain comprehending, but remember I'd already been cooking for probably around 6 years at this time, even though I was in my, early teens.
Yeah.
Or preteen.
So you knew something.
There. I knew there was something.
Yeah, something wrong.
And I remember when I took my first bite, it didn't taste right. Mm-hmm. And I remember saying something to him about it. And he got so angry and made me eat it. But that's why I'm so particular now on smells and taste. That comes into my brain like that. Just I know that smell, and that was horrible.
I think the one he
did not like me.
I have a memory of a smell, and that was when I worked at Wendy's. And somebody burnt the chili. Oh, it was so bad. It was just stomach churning. I was like, that's disgusting.
I thought you were just going to say Wendy's in general because I remember that smell and it was
bad.
I
thought, it's funny. People always say, oh, when you work at a restaurant or a place like that, that has food, they're like, you're going to get sick of the food. I'm still not sick of Wendy's.
Oh, I
still
eat
it. And I still eat the chili. That's what's weird.
I'm sick. I don't eat it that much. I don't eat a lot of fast food though.
Well, both of us have cut way back on fast food since we've
but before we journey. Didn't, I wasn't real big on. I think if we ate it, like Taco Bell was usually my choice of or chicken
Yeah.
or Arby's.
Or this or that.
But that's it. I don't like Wendy's. And I think it's because I work there.
Yeah.
I actually worked there until my the jet ski accident.
That's right. It was in Hawaii. I remember that.
Yeah, it was. And FYI, everybody, that is the worst place to work at a Wendy's is on the island of Oahu.
Well, don't shame them.
Oh, I'm not. I'm saying it's so busy. You're
yeah.
not going to be able to catch your breath. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Unless they're actually paying you what it's worth. Because they weren't when I was there.
You know what I heard? That reminds me. I'll tell you something else. I was reading about this article this morning, and I guess it's a big thing on, I don't know if it was TikTok or who it was, Instagram. It was some website, and I guess an employer said, "Hey, we're paying you from 9 to 5, but there's a meeting at 8 o'clock," and the employee was like, "Nah, I'm going to the gym. I go to the gym in the morning," and the employer was like, "No, you need to come into this meeting." Now, it sparked a huge debate. I'm on the side of, if you're hourly, okay, are you going to clock me in at 8 then? I'll show up. If you're paying me, I'll show up. But if you're not paying me, that's not my job. My job isn't to come hang out when I'm not getting paid.
For meetings, they're supposed to pay you. You are on the clock. It is for work.
Even if you're hourly. Now, if you're salary, then there's no extra pay for you coming in for that hour. You just suck it up.
I know
Buttercup.
I know. I've been there.
And I don't think I would want to do a salary job. They take advantage of you.
They do. I don't. So I didn't mind it when I worked at UFS there in Hawaii. That was, I think, probably one of my all-time favorite jobs. I absolutely loved the company, but I loved the people I worked for.
Okay. You know what well, I really did enjoy working in the military. That was a wonderful experience to me. Everybody says, oh, your favorite duty station is the one you just left or the one you're about to go to. It's never the one that you're at. But for me, it was. Yeah. I really did enjoy. I had good people. There was a couple bad people that, toxic leadership and stuff like that. But for the most part, it was pretty good. But yeah, one of my other favorite jobs that I had was working at the cell phone company when I worked there, and I was a technician. I used to repair cell phones. So one of the biggest things that I did was way back in the day with Nokia 5100. It was like,
is that that? Ooh,
it was
like that almost the rectangular one, the small one that was like this big.
Yeah, it had like a little tiny rubber antenna that.
Yeah.
It was an antenna. We had some phones they had like a. What was it? The StarTAC, the Motorola StarTAC had a flip, which there was nothing actually in the flip. It just covered up the keypad, which that did something.
Yeah.
But the antenna had this little plastic thing, and it came out. But the actual antenna was at the base of that, where that plastic thing came out, and it was only that big, and it was just a coil wire. That was the antenna.
Yeah.
And then the plastic thing was just for rich people, because the StarTAC was
like
for
the fancy.
Yeah, they're like, hold on a second, let me get this. And then they'd pull this thing out. There, can you hear me better now? No, we can't, because it's still...
It just has to do with the time. I remember thinking I was cool because I could hit, the pound key and lock my keypad.
Oh, yeah. I think some of them did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got into that. The one funny incident that had happened, and it happened regularly, is because I was the tech, I was the guy in the back. People complain about their phone not working. I had one person come in and they looked at my computer screen. Now this is back when computer screens were
that big,
that in every direction.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a little thin.
Yeah,
it was
they
an
weighed
actual,
like 500 pounds.
Yeah, it was a box, and it was super heavy. And somebody came in and they were like, hey, do those things work? And they're pointing at my screen. Well, I had a whole bunch of those little gold foil stickers. They looked like a little circuit board, and people would buy them and put them between the battery and the phone, and they were supposed to boost their signal. It didn't. I mean...
It boosted somebody's pocket.
It boosted the company's pocket. That's all it did. And I've had so many people like, oh, no, it actually works. Like, okay, it doesn't. But if you want to think it works, by all means, spend $5, $8, $10, $20, whatever you paid for that thing, and just, what do they call it? Placebo effect your way to a better conversation.
Yeah. That's what it was.
So people would ask about those little stickers. They would always say, "Hey, do those things work?" And my answer, being the very precise answerer, I was like, "Well, define work. Do you mean work like make the guy rich? Yeah, they work. Do they increase the signal? No, they do not. It's a sticker. I mean, you basically bought something that could have been sold out of a gumball machine, and you put it on your phone thinking it was going to improve it." Majority of anything that is manufactured, the manufacturer tries to do their best to make it as good as possible so that you can use it. But that does not necessarily include planned obsolescence, which is a real thing that companies have made an item where they specifically only want it to last for a year, 2 years, 6 months, 10 years, whatever, so that they're forcing you to buy another one. And one of the biggest conspiracies, not conspiracy theory, but this is real, it actually happened, was the light bulb. The light bulb was originally, I mean, there's like a firehouse in New York or something where they've got the original Edison light bulb and it's been burning solid for 120 years or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. But it's something like that. Light bulb was a real thing that they were like, we don't want this to last forever because then people will stop buying them, which is true but not true. So, yeah. Anyway.
You probably just could have gotten a piece of foil and stuck it in between the battery and the phone and said, okay, you're
well, kind of like the old radio, the antenna for radios or rabbit ears on TVs. Yeah, that was fun. For those young folks that are listening in, TVs used to have wire antennas that you'd have to you'd almost have to touch the antenna, and that's as soon as you let go of it, you're like, oh man, it's staticky again.
I would have to go and I'd sit there and mess with the foil, get some more foil, mess with the antenna,
put them together
until I hear, no, stop, no, go back.
See,
nope, there it is, and it's for one channel.
I was the youngest, so I was the one that got suckered into holding it in place while everybody else watched the TV show. So I didn't get to watch TV. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. That's not true.
Way back when
I watched plenty of TV.
Be glad you grow up in this era. But like when my grandma and my great-great-grandma, even my mom and your parents, technology was not anywhere near what it is now.
Oh, it's definitely skyrocketing.
Who was it that was telling us that someone said you were born in the 1900s? Like they were so old. Was that Ray saying that Maya told him?
I think so. Yeah.
So yes, my grandbabies, our grandbabies' newest phases. You're old. You were born in the 1900s.
Yes, I was. I'm so happy that I grew up when I did.
Me too.
I mean, I got to go outside, ride my bike.
Right.
I got to do fun things outside.
I'm glad Maya likes to go outside.
Yeah, outside is a big thing. If you don't get outside enough, sedentary lifestyle is not good. You need to get up, get moving, go outside, find something to do. Find someone
as a kid.
Yeah, hang out with.
Yeah, I think that's part of a lot of kids. Kids who sit in front of a screen, they're smart, but I think kids who actually go outside and discover stuff outside along with the screen, I think it makes them.
I bet they have better relationships.
Oh yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
You're outside more. You're more outgoing.
Yeah, you're socializing.
You're outgoing, going outside.
Yeah. You're socializing with other kids. She loves to go down the street, play with the neighbor.
Yeah.
Or go to, when she's at home, the neighbor right behind them.
Yep.
She's all about having friends or going to this person. She would prefer to have a friend to play with than to be on her phone or
right. One of the key things to having a good friendship and even of course relationship is communication. And that's something that's it's massively huge, and that's something I have never been real good at communication. I probably said that on a previous podcast, but I'm not that good. But I always strive to try and be better, And I think listening is a good part of communication that I've never been real good at, and most men probably aren't.
I think just anybody in general, unless you're a psychiatrist or psychologist or a therapist or even a doctor. It's just, I'm not very good at listening either. Actually, my deal is I cut in. That's where I struggle. And it's not that I'm not listening. I am listening to you. I'm good at speaking and listening at the same time.
I can't do that. My brain is a one
Yeah.
function thing.
Yes.
And they say that actual multitasking is not possible because your brain still is pausing for just a split second and then doing this other thing and then pausing that and then it's
What'd they say it was? Multifunctioning?
multitask. Well, yeah. I mean, I think
I think it's multifunctioning is what it's called. But we, as humans, we can all do better with communication.
yeah. I think
It's something that we will never ever be great at. And if one person says they're great at communicating, they're lying. They're telling a story.
I don't know. I think there are people that are really good at communicating.
They're probably really good at communicating, but they can get better.
Always room for improvement.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In this house, anyway.
Yeah. Do you know the top three things that make marriages either work or fail? Do you know what that? I mean, well, like the three top failure topics.
I do.
Do you know what they are?
Yes.
What do you
Kids.
think number one? The number one is
Probably money.
money. It's money. At least that's what I was reading.
Yeah.
Infidelity and children. I don't know if infidelity is the number 2 spot or if it's children.
Children and infidelity, it's probably goes back and forth. And the
Yeah.
reason I say kids is that when you have a lot of step parents walk in
Yeah.
and, you have the other kids.
It's hard to delegate. And then now the kids go, who do I listen to? I got this parent telling me one thing, this parent telling me something else. I think that was part of the struggle of my 2 boys.
Yeah.
They didn't want to listen to me because they were getting an earful from stepmom, and she was telling them some bad things.
You mean real mom?
Or I'm sorry, real mom. Yeah.
I was going to say I'm stepmom. I'm
you're-
like, is
you're
there another
stepmom. No,
stepmom? should know?
I mean the
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is a subject you guys will hear about, but it's a very long one.
Can I talk a little bit about it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think the one thing that really, if they're listening, I hope that they're doing well, and the one thing I would like them to understand is don't hold grudges. Don't make things last longer than they need to be. It's one thing to be upset. It's acceptable. It's part of life.
Yep.
It's not to make it 10, 20 years or anything further where your kids are just constantly, disrespect or just outright defiance, stuff like that. Be good. Just, as a kid, you don't know everything. You don't. And I thought the same thing when I was their age. Everybody does. Everybody thinks they know everything when they're a teenager, when they think that they're going to rule the world, and they're not. They're not going to rule the world.
Yep.
It's just, it's one of those things that once they get over it and they realize, this is just stupid to keep on fighting and arguing and holding a grudge, and take responsibility. If you're wrong, I believe that I try to admit when I'm wrong. I know it's an easier process for me to admit that I'm wrong, correct myself, make adjustments, and move on. That is easier than continuously doing something wrong and never correcting it and dealing with the consequences of that struggle of the relationship. That's not worth it. And I don't know when I don't think I switched, but it was like a gradual, as I try to communicate better, and I'm learning this, as I'm understanding life and all the things that go about with it. I'm learning that you shouldn't just hold grudges. Life is short. We're here for a purpose. And that was actually kind of the underlying theme of that show that we watched the other day about the guy that was talking about near-death experiences.
Yeah.
You're on this planet for a short time, and the whole purpose that we have here is really just to learn to do the right thing. Sure, we have free will, but make the right decision. Make your relationships count.
Yes.
Give them value. Don't argue. Don't fight. Try to minimize all that. There's going to be disagreements. There's going to be times when you don't like something. But don't hold it out. Don't stretch it out because you don't know when you're going to go. You don't know.
Yeah.
It could be any time.
We're given choices as humans.
Yeah.
And we're even given the choice to learn from it or not learn from it. And we're given the choice to do right and wrong. Some people choose to go down the wrong path. Some people choose to go down the correct path.
And that's not saying that there aren't variables in the path.
There's always variables.
Right.
If there weren't variables, we would never learn and become good human beings or even not so good human beings. We all learn those behaviors, whether we're learning it from a parent or we're learning it from outside influences, from television, from videos, that we're learning from everything around us, good or bad.
Yep. Do you
Some
think
people, unfortunately, are choosing to go down bad paths, but they're finding it probably easier than doing the right thing.
Yeah. Well, they always say do the hard right over the easy wrong.
Yep.
And some people choose the easy wrong because it's easy and they don't like doing stuff hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Now I forgot what I was going to say.
And that is our life on a daily basis.
Do you think that racism is something that is strictly taught? In other words, you have to be taught to be racist? I think
that is probably 98%.
Yeah.
99%. Absolutely.
Right.
It's learned from a parent, from family.
Yeah.
My ex-husband was extremely racist.
Wow.
Like extremely. He actually wore a hat that says, "You wear your flag, I'll wear mine." And it was the Confederate flag, but he wore it for the wrong reason. The same reason why people think that they need to take it down or whatever.
You know, that reminds me, the whole idea of a thing being racist.
Yeah.
That's not possible. You can't say a flag itself is racist. You can argue and sometimes be right that it represents racism. And you may be right on some things, but it's not necessarily for each person. And my example, the best example I can give, I grew up watching the Dukes of Hazzard.
For me, that's what it represents.
That symbol, that flag, it's called a battle flag. There's a few names for it, but the Confederate flag, the battle flag. To me, that's nothing more than a paint job on a '69 Dodge Charger jumping valleys. Yeah. That's it. That's all it means. It doesn't mean anything else.
For me, it's history. It doesn't define racism. It's history.
Yeah.
And then you have people who are trying to change history.
Or erase it.
And erasing it is even worse.
That's
because
terrible.
I'm sorry, we all come from history.
That's right.
And we're all taught that a person's opinions are their opinions.
Yes.
It's not our right, anybody else's right to try to change it. If people don't like it, they can walk away.
Right.
And again, our granddaughter, our grandson, our other grandchildren are not going to know history and why our country has the freedoms that they do, why there is no slavery anymore in the United States or anywhere. Well, there is. But
there's a huge
There
amount.
is. But I'm talking about to the degree what it was.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, there's lots of sex trafficking, and, drugs and all that. So let me retract my words.
Yeah.
The kind of slavery that we had before.
Yeah, like just straight up go outside and pick the cotton.
So no, what they're trying to do is erase a huge part of our history.
Yeah.
And erasing it is not going to negate it.
Well, slavery itself is terrible. I mean, it's a horrible thing.
Yeah.
But they're acting like, I guarantee there were some slaves that had good relationships with the slave owner. I guarantee. It's not zero.
Yeah. We've watched a couple true, movies that were based on true events where there was a lot, or even I've watched documentaries where there were slaves that fell in love with their owners and they lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
It did happen.
What do you think? What do you think the percentage? And here's a key word here. This is our next what we're going to talk about, because we were talking about this earlier. What do you think the percentage of slaves forgave their owners? What do you think?
I'm gonna say probably the majority of them, because they were set free. Those owners didn't know any better, because that's
just what they were taught.
That's what they were taught.
It was accepted.
That was the time of that day.
Yeah.
So just like, now we have military, we have war, we have this. That's just what we know right now.
Yep.
And World War I, the Korea, that's just what we know.
Yeah.
And, you still have the people. And unfortunately, we have so much conflict going on right now. You have, this one group saying, holding against us, your ancestors held my ancestors, as slaves. That was our ancestors.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you the right to treat all of us or other people that way.
Can't change.
Because you're free right now. You were born free.
Yeah. Now,
and I'm going to set the record. I'm going to set the record very straight. Before they were taken as slaves, we were taken as slaves first.
Well, there's actually,
we were sold as slaves.
There was a lot of slavery. You got to understand, if they were slaves coming from Africa, well, someone over there had to capture those people, turn them into slaves, and then bring them on over.
They had more access to white people. So the poverty-stricken white people were taken as slaves and sold as slaves.
Yeah.
And
well, some of us still are to the job.
Yeah.
We're
So
I'm
Blackfoot Native American.
Yeah.
My father and his family, my grandparents or great-grandparents, full-blooded Blackfoot Native American. Mm-hmm. The Blackfoot Native American, we actually took in runaway slaves.
Wow.
And that's where, like, the hair, my ghetto booty, my attitude probably comes from. So, and then we, the Native Americans here, were taken as slaves if we weren't slaughtered to death. So if people want to talk about history, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I know about it. I know about my ancestors. I know about, and that's because I've actually learned.
Yeah.
I haven't just listened, this and that, and I'm not angry about it. You know why I'm not angry? Because forgiveness is a huge word.
Yeah.
And it's not for you to go say, I need you to forgive me. It's for myself.
It's that inner peace.
It's for, I need to forgive you.
Yeah.
Because I need that and you need that. And if people would start forgiving around here, this world would be so different. But we are so dead set on, like you said, holding grudges.
Yeah.
Being in power and all this and that. I have it on 2 screens.
Oh, no, I was just thinking, folks, we're doing this. We're kind of learning as we go. We're figuring out the software.
This is going to be a clunky video, but it'll be all right.
I just realized I don't think we peeled off the little thing. I don't know if it's making it blurry.
Now you know how I felt the other day.
I don't know. I feel
so he's peeling that plastic piece, and I was wanting to do that, and he's telling me, don't do that, don't touch it. And I'm all like, okay.
Switch it off mine so I can turn this flash on and not blind people.
All right, I'm going to put it on my beautiful face.
All right, so I found it.
Oh, he found it.
I don't know if there's a thing.
So yes, that's
No, there's a hole.
If we would just all be nice, stop holding grudges that our ancestors created a situation. Because we're not them. We are us. And we are the ones who have to make peace in this world.
Yep.
And you being angry is not it. And you being angry at me is not it. And we're going to tell you a situation. Maybe I'll let my husband explain it a little bit about forgiveness.
You got to
our situation
prep me.
A couple weekends ago.
I'm drawing a blank. Huh?
With Whitney.
Oh. Yes.
So his memory is about this long?
Well, I know what it's. You got to prep.
No,
me.
it's okay. No.
Well, I don't really know how to start this. I mean, we
It
were in a. You and I being married, we had some struggles.
Yeah.
And you moved out, and it was rough. I ended up meeting someone that I've seen her around, talked to her a few times, and knew of her, and then things progressed, and we started seeing each other. And that wasn't, I was up front. I was very clear. I said, look, I'm married. I don't know what's going to happen. And that's probably the most honest thing I could have said. I don't want to lead her on. I don't want to lead you on, or didn't, at the time. I still don't, but, then. It was one of those things where it just, all the little things lined up in a way to make it be this way. I made decisions. You made decisions. She made a decision. Yep. We ended up seeing each other for a short period of time, and then we worked things out. And I realized that was going to be a past part of my life instead of a current part of my life. Now, I'm still friends with her. I still talk with her, but we are not.
That's going to be the ending to his story.
Yeah, that'll be the ending of the relationship part. Now we're just friends. But I had a burden on my shoulder, and I had to ask for forgiveness because it's a mistake. I did what I did, and I think we're stronger now, which I'm very happy. And then I'll let you take it from there.
So he didn't have to get on his hands and knees and beg me for forgiveness. I love him. The circumstances were a little bit different. I forgave him. Me not and holding on to that grudge it would have hurt. It would have festered. It would have hurt. It would have hurt me. It would have hurt him. And we wouldn't have made it. So, what was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah. About that.
I had, for a few weeks, I've been, because he talks to her, and I know he talks to her. He lets me know. She sends him random dad jokes so he can tell them. It's so silly.
I will tell.
Freaking
Let
hilarious.
me tell you this one. Let me tell you the one today.
Okay, he's gonna tell you.
This is what she sent me today, and I love this. And you're gonna hear my sense of humor, folks, because she sent me this. I don't know if I can actually show it on. Can I show it? Can I just do this? Can you see that? No,
all you see is
it's blurry. It's the what is this?
Star Trek.
Captain Kirk and
no, it's not Captain Kirk. It's Bernard.
I don't know. I'm not a Star Trek person.
Anyway,
Anyway,
we're not fans if you can't tell.
Doesn't matter. It says, I bought shoes from a drug dealer once. I'm not sure what he laced them with, but I was tripping all day. I was like, that's pretty good. So, I responded, probably high tops.
That's
yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, she's funny. So
talk to her every so often.
I decided if I can forgive him, I had to forgive her. And it wasn't that I had to forgive her. I, for myself, had to forgive her. Because me holding on to that, it wasn't healthy for me. It wasn't healthy for her. And it wasn't healthy for him. So we invited her over, and I made chicken tacos. I make the best.
Oh, so good.
I told you. And so she came over, and, we hung out.
we didn't just hang out. We had
laughed.
A blast.
So, we were crying. Unreal. She laughed hard.
Like crying because we were laughing so hard. There was no
And I didn't need to tell her, I forgive you. We didn't need to bring the subject up. It was, I think, the fact that I invited her into my home and I was nice to her.
Yeah.
And I gave her an honest hug
Yeah.
when she left. But I think she left lighter. I felt lighter. And my husband, I think, felt lighter. I think he's getting teary-eyed.
No, I'm just...
Oh, okay. Yeah. No.
It's dusty in here. I ate something spicy.
And
no.
if, for the people who say, why did you do that? Because a Christian, that's what we do. People make mistakes.
Yep.
And
People
again,
make choices. That's really what it is.
It's
just
choice.
choices.
It was a choice. And they both know they did it. Neither one of them are trying to hide it, because I know.
Right.
But if I can make the choice to forgive him, why can't I forgive her?
Right. Why would you want to hold on to half of it? That doesn't make sense.
But she's not the one, who said, hey, I know you're married.
Right.
I'm not the type, okay, you're doing this, so I'm going to come after you and not him. But
that always got me kind of like, why do I never understood that? Like, why,
I don't know.
If somebody's like, if a man and woman are in a relationship, and then let's say the man goes and starts seeing this woman, why would the wife be mad at the woman? It's not like it's not her that she should have a problem with. It's the guy.
I think because they know that they don't have control over him, it's easier to get, I think, because it's the same way. If it's the wife
sense, yeah,
doing it, the husband's going to go to hey, she's my wife. It's easy. It's that control thing, I think.
Now, and this is something, I don't know if we've brought this up, but I will
just
definitely
forgive people.
Yes. I was going to say that this similar type thing happened to me, and I consider it cheating when you are in a relationship that has romantic substance, even if you don't sleep with that person. If there is, especially if you say, I love you.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, if it's from a romantic point, I mean, not just like I love my friends, right? Like,
yeah,
my buddy RJ or Steve, I'll be like, hey man, I love you, man.
I love you, friends, and I'm not cheating on you.
It's not that. It's not, I'm using the word love
no,
as a romantic.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Where was I going with this?
It
happened
know,
to me when I was in Iraq.
Yep.
My now ex-wife cheated on me because she wanted to have a relationship, and it was clear that it was a relationship. I ended up catching her in a lie. Months later,
funny.
she was like, "Yeah, we were only dating for so many months," and I was like, "Wait a minute, let me do the math here." I was still in Iraq, she cheated on me, even if she didn't sleep with him, which I think there was, because remember the time that she was supposed to pick up the
boys at 10
older
o'clock?
boys,
Yeah.
my older two, not the ones
not the
that
twins.
just not the twins, the older two, and it was like 10 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
I had the Jeep, so I had no way of getting them plus their gear to the house, and I was living in 3 hours away. And she was supposed to pick them up because she had a van, and she was supposed to pick them up from the airport and bring them down to me. And for like 4 hours. It was from 10 at night when they were supposed to land, which I guess they did. They landed on time. They had, I think, just their phone and, the clothing or whatever, their, gear or whatever they brought. It was 1 o'clock in the morning before she, realized that she was running late. I was like, what were you doing from 10 o'clock at night until 1 o'clock in the morning? She wasn't at home alone. Nope, she was at his house. Mm-hmm. And the claim was they were watching TV and fell asleep. Mm-mm. No, that's not what happened. Mm-mm. You and I both know.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'm pretty sure everybody does now.
Hey, that's fine.
Yep.
That's her story. I have no way of proving otherwise, but I have my gut feeling, and obviously I was right on the gut feeling.
Yeah.
She left me, and she divorced, and she did some very malicious things. Threatened to take the kids away from me because she wanted more time.
She's a nasty person.
Like, I never understood that. Like, she just wanted a couple of extra days.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
Disney World,
just a couple extra days. It turned into like a month, and it was just, it was a mess. And very, very aggressive. She's a control freak.
It's because she doesn't like herself. People who don't like themselves tend to be really nasty with everybody else. That's the way I look at it.
She was very controlling, though. She
Yeah.
got busted trying to control things. She got kicked out of the company area for the military.
That's hard to do as a spouse too.
When you're running your mouth to the company commander and they tell you you're out of here for at least a month, go cool off, and she did it. She was well known for her abrasive.
She's still burying herself.
Yeah, she still does that.
Yeah.
But anyways, forgiveness. We definitely need to forgive. And I know that my kids are mad at me right now or maybe not, I don't know, but they haven't called me.
No, they'll forgive you one day.
How long? We have not necessarily a running bet, but we both believe that it's going to be at least a few years.
Yeah.
And this is actually just normal too. It just happens to be the time frame when they're 18.
Yeah.
When you're 18, 19, 20, those are the years that you kind of you split apart from your parents and you go do your own thing. Some kids have a real super tight relationship with their parents, and some of them are just like, all right, see ya, I'm out, and some of them go and join the military and the parents never see the kids.
For all we know, they're not even there anymore.
Yeah, we don't know.
I mean, they're not going to call you and let you know. I can't see how long their behavior is going to last over there.
Yeah,
especially with the two small kids there.
Getting to the point where they were starting to get aggressive, and some of her traits are coming out. Her control stuff and refusal to follow instructions.
They were allowed to talk to them without supervision.
Yep, that's folks. If you have kids, try to love them as much as you can, because I think from the ages of about 7 or 8 up until about 14, if you don't have a good relationship with your kid and you try to mend at 15 years old,
it's not going to work.
Don't give up, but don't expect it to go back to where they were at 7 or 8.
And he knows this different. Because I came into their lives. I think the boys were 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, 7.
6. 2012.
6, yeah.
So they born
their relationship with their dad was already kind of tarnished because of her. So he has spent years trying to mend what there was, but at the same time trying to mold them into good decent young men.
Yep.
And that's hard to do when you've got kids who are trying to defy you because their mother is encouraging them to. And I'm going to call her out right over here on this podcast.
That blows my mind that she would actually encourage them. Like, do you remember, what was it? One of them said, my mom told me to intentionally disobey dad.
Yeah, he said that to a judge. So yeah. So that's there. But again, he has a whole, and all I can recommend is if you guys want to hear a true life, this really does happen.
Yeah.
It is that's all I can't even really say anything.
Well, the whole situation, folks, we're talking about something that spanned from when they were 7 years old until about 14 before I got full custody. The judge this is one of those like wild.
No, they were 13.
Were they 13?
Yeah.
Wild. You never, very, very rarely ever hear of a father getting full custody before even getting to the judge and saying, hey, can I have full custody? Like, we were going to get to that point.
Yeah.
But that never
was just trying to get his time back.
I was just trying. Well, you can't really get time back.
No, but he was trying to get. He was what I mean by his time back is he was trying to. Yeah.
We were trying to figure out how to make it fair, and I actually came up with a plan that she agreed to, and then later on went back and said, "No, I didn't agree to that." Another lie, but she. It was supposed to be like as close to 50-50 as possible when. Both of us would have 50-50 custody. The kids would still get to see each other every summer, and they would be apart every school year, and it would just switch.
Yep.
And the bonus was, it was like so many benefits. There was almost no drawbacks other than the kids are going to be separated from somebody at some point. That's really the only drawback.
Both of those would have been okay with that. I've never seen a set of twins dislike each other as much as those two did.
They got
oh my
into
gosh.
It. Man.
I don't know. We've got pictures and videos of those two. Lord.
But I still love them. I still care about them.
I absolutely love those two.
I hope they're doing well.
I love those two. Like, I gave birth to them. I'm just fortunate enough I did not have to. I love all 4 of our kids. So we're a blended family. We have 8 kids between us. And
Yeah.
we've met all the kids. We've hung out with all of them. 7 boys, 1 girl.
Wow.
You would think I'm insane.
And then we have Jack and Diane.
Jack and Diane, Liza and Luna. And you guys can sing it, Jack and Diane.
Yep, do it. Little ditty.
Just do it. And then we have Cobain.
We have some fun animals, though.
We really do. So we're going to take a quick bathroom break, and
All
then
right.
we'll be right back.
All right, we're back.
We are back.
We had a few things to do. We had a dog that needed to go outside and order some food and stuff like that. So
And I just gave him a heart attack.
Yeah. I was like, she's like, I'm going to hit stop. No, don't hit stop. So how we do this, folks, is this is pretty much how we do it. Like, as we're talking, that's how it looks. We don't do any post-production editing. Pretty much if I screw up a word and I mispronounce something, or if I say something stupid, we're just going to let it fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just going to hear it. Yeah, so there's just, I kind of freaked out because when she said, I'm going to stop it, that cuts off the whole thing, and I'd have to start back over, and it would be, I would have to do some post-production work, and I'm not that great with video editing, so it's just going to be the way it is, folks.
Yep.
Sorry.
But, you know,
not.
I was actually ready to click the correct button. I can't even talk right now.
Yeah, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we let the dog out, and I let him back in, and our cat tried to escape, by the way.
Which one?
The one that wants to escape.
Luna?
Yes.
Liza's been trying to sneak outside.
Yeah, I don't think she'll go
there's
that
been a
far,
couple
though.
times
She'll
I
probably
have
just
opened
lay on
that
the
door.
ground. I don't know. Anyway.
I went to let Cobain out, and she's like tried to dart out before him.
Yeah?
Or I went to go let Cobain in, and she's tried to dart out. Oh yeah, there's been. She wants that squirrel.
Oh, yeah, the little
So
one.
she watches that squirrel.
We have new
She
squirrels.
waits for that squirrel to come.
We have a...
We have a porch squirrel.
He's a...
Literally, it's got it.
It's like a porch. Yeah, it's not...
Ouch.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah.
But... And we don't know how old they are. That'd be really cool to be a or a squirrel whisperer. We know someone like that.
A squirrel
David.
whisperer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, David.
He's got a couple.
Yeah.
He's got like a handful of squirrels.
Yep.
He was showing them on one of those apps or something.
Well,
showing
I
pictures.
told you that I'm going to, one of those little baby squirrels that are running around, I'm going to make friends with it.
I'm still trying to make friends with the crow.
I heard a crow outside our front yard, this morning, and I was going to call you and tell you that Juan Lopez?
No,
I thought that's what you were going to name it.
no, it was something else. I'm
I
trying to
was
think
wrong.
what it was.
Mark that on the
Edward.
calendar.
It was a Spanish last name.
That's that was. Anyway,
Edward
he wants
Sanchez.
oh yeah. So
Or something Sanchez. Anyway, if I make
a funny face.
if I make friends with a crow, I'm going to name him Edward Sanchez. And I'm going to feed him, and he's going to be my friend, and we're going to be friends, and he will fly away. I think it'd be really cool to have a crow thing. I'm taking these off. It's messing me up. Okay.
No, that.
Yeah, we got an echo.
Yeah.
The echo isn't always there. I'm just taking them off there. That's better for me. Messes
I'm
up.
probably gonna
You know, I was thinking about the camera position. It's gonna if I start
is
balding,
it gonna mess up your hair?
it's gonna mess up my
I
hair.
think you'll be
no,
all
I
right.
don't. I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm going through a struggle with, and this is completely new subject. I'm just gonna say it. My car has been really ticking me off, and I've got a car, and it doesn't want to start when it's necessary. It will, however, start when it's not necessary. And the troubleshooting steps that I'm going through is the car will not start. So it's a push button start, and it's got those keyless, all the fancy stuff. You press the button and it's good. And it's got the RF box thing that basically determines that your key is physically on the inside. I've had to replace that once, and I'm thinking that it could be related to that, but I'm not sure. So I don't really know how to troubleshoot it. And unfortunately, the 3 dealerships that I called, there's one dealership where there's only one Dodge guy, because it's a Dodge car. There's only one Dodge guy that's there maybe once a month or something, and so his slots are booked up solid. Then there's another one where it's probably the same guy going to these different different ones. It probably is. He's got one in another town over, and then even in the other state up in Indiana. Is all 3 of them are like, yeah, end of February or end of March. I'm like, no, I'm not going to wait that long. So I got to figure this out on my own, folks. It will not start when I need it to start. But one of my good friends, Steve, shout out to Steve, he has told me that if you put a battery, if you go to the battery, I replaced the battery, so I already knocked that one out. And it could be the starter, but that's what he's thinking. If I take the voltmeter and I'm measuring the voltage across the positive and negative terminals on the brand new battery, it's in the trunk. So let's explain that process, because that's fun. The battery is in the trunk, and I love how Dodge did this. So if your battery dies and you don't have a key for your trunk,
you can't get into it.
You're done. You might as well just sell the car. It's done. You can't get in the car. No, you would have to, if you lock the car and you don't have a key, if you're relying on the fob, you can't get to the inside of the car, which means you can't pop the hood. There is a positive battery terminal thing inside the hood. So all you do is you go to ground, and then you got battery, and then you can press the button in the car. But this one, the trunk won't even open. The only time the trunk will open with a button is from the remote control, if it's working, which means you have to have a battery and you have to have battery power. And if it's on the inside, there's a button to press the trunk open when your car is running, but if it's not running, it won't work. So in other words, if your battery is dead and your car's not running because it's dead and you don't have a key, you can't press the button inside. You can't press the key fob because the car battery's dead. You can't open the trunk. If you lock the keys, or if you lock the door and you can't get in because you don't have a key there, it's going to be difficult getting in there, like real hard.
There's a reason why they did that.
So you have to buy a new car.
Yep. Well, it's a cop car. They made it to where you can't break in there.
Well, it is pretty secure. Yeah. It's a nice car.
Well, it's a
I do like it.
Retired cop car.
Yeah, retired.
He likes vehicles that cost him lots of money.
I don't mind having a cop car. So no, it's a fun car.
Yeah.
It's very comfortable. I don't know about the back seat. Never been in the back of a. No, I've been in the back of my car. Yeah. It's actually not that bad. But yeah, so my current process is I had my lovely wife help me because one of the features of the remote start, because now it has factory remote start. Yay! I bought that and paid for it and had it put in and all that. One of the features of the remote start is you can't have the trunk open. Well, guess where the battery is? In the trunk. Mm-hmm. So in order for me to test whether or not the battery, the starter, he said, put the voltmeter on the 2 posts of the battery and then try and start the car. And if the voltage drops to, a certain amount, like more than 0.02 or whatever, if it drops, then that means the battery is using a bunch of energy to try and push to the starter or pull or whatever. For those of you who are electrical engineers, electricity is pulled, not pushed. But the starter is trying to go and it's using that electricity, but it's just not working. And then that's the most likely culprit, is it's the starter. Yeah. Unfortunately, I can only start the car in 2 ways. One is with a remote start, and 2 is by physically sitting in and pressing the button. Well, in order for me to test the battery, I have to have the trunk open. Well, the remote start won't start the car with the trunk open. So if I have to do this myself, I would have to crawl inside the trunk, shut the door, hope that somebody's going to hear me scream for help.
I'll be all like, what's that sound?
Can you imagine how horrible it would be if I was testing the battery and then I accidentally bumped something and made the battery off the car? Well, I'd be...
Your trunk's not big enough. You have no space in it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not 18 anymore, so I'm not going to crawl back in the trunk and try and fix this.
You're not.
It would be dark. Yeah. I'm not going to do it. So Yeah, two methods. One is to remote start, which that's not an option when I'm trying to measure the voltage, or have my wife start it. And so she was so wonderful. Thank you for sitting in my car and pressing a button.
I broke a sweat
12 times in a row, or however many times it did.
So hard.
We did it the other day, and it started 10 times in a row. Mm-hmm. So hear this out, folks.
11 with the remote.
But it's funny. Let me tell the story. So, first time I was like, okay, start it. And then it started. And I was like, all right, okay, well, that's just one. Yeah, let's try it. Okay, try it again. Second time. All right, 2 worked. All right, let's go 3. See if it starts 3 times in a row. Yep, started 3. Okay, maybe 4. Let's see if 4 does it. Yep, did it 4. Okay, 5 times. There's no way he's going to do 5. Yep, 5. 6, yep, 7, yep, 8, yep, 9, yep, 10, yep. And then 11 with the remote start. And then I was like, okay. And we didn't have anywhere to go, so I was just like, all right, I'll just, do whatever. Oh, I think our food's here.
No, it's Ray.
No. Hey, pause it for a second. We'll talk to him real quick. We'll come back. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. We just have a busy house.
Yes.
We're just doing all kinds of stuff. But yeah, the car thing, I don't think, I think the only solution was to have her keep pressing the button, because after 11 times, it worked just fine. 10 pressing the button and 1 with the remote. And then I thought, well, we weren't going anywhere. So we just I just wanted to let it kind of be in my brain. I just wanted to think about it. And I didn't know if I would brainstorm and think, oh, this is why it's not starting or whatever. So I thought, well, we'll just leave it. And then the next morning I got up and I was like, all right, I don't know if I want to trust it, because I'm on my way to work. I was like, And I was like, you know what? I'm going to start it 5 times, or try and see if it starts. And if it does 5 times in a row, that's 16 times in a row. I should be good. Like there shouldn't be any question of whether or not your car is going to start. If you can start it 16 times in a row, 11 one day, and then you let it sit. So it's not like, oh, it's heating up and, So I'm trying to think of all these different scenarios. I'm trying to do my CSI brain, if it's warmer and you're inside, and I'm doing all this. Yeah. Started up 5 times in a row, and I thought, you know what? I think maybe whatever it was worked itself out, and I'm good. So I drove it to work and got to work, had no issues, and I was like, finally, this is good. I'm going to turn it off and, go inside and do my job. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to hit the button one more time. It didn't start. Right back.
But
then it started up twice after it didn't start. So I was like, okay.
It's so
Are you going to I want it to, so right now, folks, what I'm dealing with is my car will start every time. And now I want it to not start, because every time I want it to not start, I've got the button or the voltmeter plugged into the battery. And then every time I don't have the voltmeter plugged in, maybe I should just leave the voltmeter plugged into the battery all the time. And then my car will always start.
Yes. Yes. That sounds like the smart thing to do.
That's the solution. That's the right answer. What was I talking? I was talking about somebody, the right way of doing. Oh, it was this thing. So we have all these cameras set up, and we're trying to figure out to do hey, if I'm talking on the microphone. I want the camera to be pointed on me. And then when she's talking, I want it to be pointed on her. But it's way complex. It's not like if there's anyone that's listening to this that knows how to do these camera things to make it so that when this microphone is talking, this camera's on. When this microphone's talking, this camera's on. But the problem is that when you get 2 people that talk at the same time, the computer's like, what do I do? And it doesn't know. There's got to be all these if this, then that, but also this and not that and this and that all in one thing.
Yeah. So
it's kind of complex. We're working on it, folks. Thank you for bearing with us, and I hope you enjoy the show. We're actually going to wrap this up. We've been talking, I don't know, how long have we been talking aside from our 2
It's been a nice
interruptions?
hour and 15 minutes.
All right. Well, that sounds long enough for me to sound like I did something for the day.
I know. I accomplished something today.
Let's shout out to who made the cake. Let's shout out to them.
Moms.
They are
there in Brandenburg.
Yep, in Brandenburg.
Yes. Miss Renee, she's the owner.
Wonderful. This stuff is so good.
It is. She made a Nakuzo, I think is how you pronounce her name. She's the sister off of Demon Slayer. That's what what birthday cake
what that
our granddaughter wanted.
Yeah. I don't know what that is. Go ahead.
Don't listen to him. Anyway,
Listen to the man.
beautiful cake. I sent her a picture of kind of what I wanted, and we bought the cake topper. He's gonna be in trouble when I hit stop.
Listen to the man.
So anyway, she
listening
did
to
a
her.
phenomenal job, and she made 12 cupcakes. And she did this when her part-time girl that works with her was sick and missed days. So
Yeah.
I have to give Renee props. Thank you, Renee, for busting your butt and doing my cake plus whoever's cake while it was just you plus your baker. Thank you. It was
Yep.
a hit. It was beautiful. I
Loved
know
it.
we'll definitely see you next year for her
We
birthday.
might even do another one for that big O.
Oh my gosh! So
We're not gonna say it. We're not gonna say it.
Yes,
Or you are. I don't know.
I have-
I feel like doing.
I have the big birthday coming up in May, and everyone should know what the big birthday is, especially if they've had the big birthday.
30 plus 20.
Yeah. Yes. He can math today, people.
I can math today.
Yes. He can math all the time.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, I've been trying to figure out what I should be asking for my birthday because I have no clue because I normally don't ask for anything for my birthday.
You know what? Let's see if anyone that's listening wants to contribute. Hey, if you got an idea for what I can get for my wife, please tell us. Let us know because if I screw this up, my birthday's a week after this and I ain't getting anything good.
So I've been reading that gold is the appropriate gift for the 50th birthday. I don't wear jewelry. All I wear is my wedding band and my mother's ring. And I do have some.
Occasionally you'll have
I have
earrings
my
or
necklace.
necklace.
Well, I don't wear earrings.
You don't wear earrings
no.
at all? I haven't seen you. It's been a while.
I think I've only
I've seen
worn
you-
them like once or twice.
When we were doing the Great Gatsby.
Yes, I wore
think you
them then. I
That's
wore the big
last-
old long ones.
Thank
yeah.
God I remembered something.
Yeah, good job. But so I don't wear the jewelry thing is kind of out. I like stuff that I can use. So I'm one of those, if money is going to be spent, I want it to be spent on something.
Practical.
Yes. But I'm struggling on what to ask for my birthday because
Oh,
that's just who I am.
I just thought of it.
Oh gosh, he's going to give me a nickel.
No,
Wrapped up in
no.
a
It's got to be
box.
gold or gold plated.
Yeah. Don't give me a gold bar.
No,
Don't
you
do
know how
it.
expensive that is.
I'm
That's
talking
like,
about from the exchange.
Oh, those-
the little fake ones.
The
I
cardboard
saw
thing.
enough of those. Thank you.
yeah, no. But I know exactly what I could get you:
Okay.
a gold plated gun. All right, you're seeing it now, folks. This is real.
Because then he would have to buy me that really expensive purse that I would carry it in.
Yeah, I've got a gold plated gun.
I know you do.
It's that silver. Well, silver and gold. It's pretty
the
neat
revolver,
looking.
isn't
it's
it?
yeah. It's an
That-
old.
It's a beauty.
It's an 1858 Pieta is the model, and it's a Colt.
Yeah.
It's a replica. It's not the original. This was made like in the 80s or something.
it's
1980s. It's a beautiful gun. I got it because I watched the movie The Magnificent Seven. So if you watch that movie, folks, and then all of a sudden you have to go out and buy a new revolver, you're in the same boat as me.
Yep. He actually got 2 revolvers for that one.
Yep.
And the other one's pretty too. So, all right, we got distracted. This
Yeah.
is what happens to us all the time. I hope this comes out okay. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
If you can help my husband or me because I'm struggling too. Yeah. I don't know what to ask for.
Sanity.
I gave up on that.
All right.
It can't be found anywhere.
It's not available.
I've been asking for a long
I'll check
time.
Amazon.
Okay, check Amazon.
Probably from Temu.
You won't get it for like 12 weeks. So it'll be way past my birthday.
All right.
Just saying. So, all right.
Folks.
Have a good one. Thanks for watching and
Yep.
listening.
Yeah, if you're just listening, we're still here.
If you have any comments again on how we can make things a little bit easier for you guys to watch or hear and what we can do to improve, we would much appreciate it because, again, this is for you guys.
Yep.
So
Thank you.
from the Louder
We'll see you guys next time. Bye,
Have
guys.
a good one. Bye.